What's poppin', people? It's Dante, currently walking around City Hall here in Philadelphia, and I'm thinking about perspective and how everything is perspective, right? What does that mean to me? So when I think about perspective, obviously I think of photography, looking up now at this high angle, kind of trying to make a photo of this architecture here, right? Looking upwards. As a photographer, maybe where we position ourselves in our camera is essentially what determines the results of the photographs, and that's an obvious thought, but I think that perspective, how we see and perceive the world, is ultimately going to determine our view of life and how we see things, right? And I think this both physically and metaphorically, where I look at Philadelphia as a beautiful city, just full of grand architecture, full of great people, full of beautiful diversity. There's something about Philadelphia that has a unique charm that I'm very fond of. You know, while I can walk down Market Street and hear the chaos of the honking of the cars, the people screaming, the homelessness, the people that are on drugs, you know, smashing things and bashing things, right? There's still something to be said about perspective and how you can perceive these different nuances in your city, in your life, in your hometown. And I actually find that without order, there is no chaos, and vice versa, right? Without chaos, there is no order. And so thriving in that intersection is where I find my most success in both photography and life, and how I feel both emotionally and physically. And what that means is, in my hometown here in Philadelphia, right, this is my neighborhood. Welcome to the beautiful neighborhood. I hear a lot of shit, you know, I hear a lot of smack talk about Philly and how it's this dirty place, drug ridden, you know. Maybe we have to blame the district attorney Larry Krasner that's sitting inside that office there. But look, what can we do about it but change our perspective? And so by changing your perspective on how you look at these different things, you can unlock flourishing. Like, imagine flourishing is like an attribute in a video game like Skyrim, right? You know how you get like all your different attributes that you can level up to level 99. Like, what if we were to level up our flourishing to level 99, right? And what would that mean, right? So that means looking at the ups, looking at the downs, looking at the things that are ugly, looking at the things that are beautiful, and championing those things and finding beauty in those things ultimately, right? And you know, when I'm photographing and I'm looking at life, maybe I'm looking at a piece of trash. Maybe I'm looking at a crack that's growing in between the sidewalk. Maybe I'm looking at things that are often discarded or left behind, and not necessarily something that a pedestrian will be looking at as beautiful. But when I shape my own world through photography, when I create a new world through the act of making pictures, I give my life meaning, and I shape my perspective on how I see these things. And so essentially what I'm trying to say is, I need not to go anywhere in this world, but within my own mind, within my own perspective, where I can make any nuance, any little detail, moment, thing, place, person, etc. beautiful and something worth uplifting in a photograph. And I can create a new world in a fraction of a second. You know, this to me is the power of photography, and it enhances the way that I see things, right? Where I see life clearly now with a camera in hand. Otherwise, without a camera, you know, maybe the chaos does become overwhelming to the everyday pedestrian, right? Maybe the chaos does become something that's just so apparent, right? And it's just at the forefront, and you're going to think of your hometown as ugly or chaotic or dangerous or violent, etc. But when I have the camera and I have the ability to put order within my frames, order to the chaos, I give and affirm, I give meaning to life, and I affirm those moments, and I affirm you know, these different nuances of my city. And so yeah, I'm just thinking today about perspective, on how I shape my perspective through the use of a camera, yeah, I believe that the ultimate superpower of photography is the fact that I have the ability to create a new world with my camera. What that means is everything around me becomes infinitely fascinating and something worth relishing in. And I find that this really is bliss. This is what it's like to flourish. And I find that perspective and how I see the most mundane, banal, boring things as interesting, well, it just provides endless lust within my life and lust for life. And yeah, I figured I'd just share some of those thoughts. Maybe some of it makes sense, maybe not, who knows?